Rule changes, a possible changing of the guard, and a wide open playing field. Hey T-Fam, I'm Kirby Bridges, your host and tennis coach. Welcome back to Open Stance in 2018. In this week's episode, we're going to be breaking down what's to come at next week's Australian Open. The action begins on Monday, January 15th, and I want you all to be in the know. Now, first off, we're going to be flying high this season at the Australian Open. Well, not really us, but more so just the umpires. They're going to be in new automated chairs that go up and down. And the thing that I'm really most looking forward to is watching them come all the way down in the first dispute against Kyrgios so that they can be eye level. Now, the most important part of this is who's put in the work during the off season. I've put it into three categories: who's out, who's in, and...
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Starting off with the men, we're going to talk about who is out. Number one, don't hate me for this, is Rafael Nadal.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
I get it. He made it to the final last year in what was my favorite Grand Slam of all time. He treated us to a year of tremendous tennis, but he has been plagued with a few injuries at the end of the year where he bowed out of the ATP finals and has been treating some knee and some wrist injuries. Now, that's number one. Number two is that really and truly, the Australian Open is not his tournament. The last time he won it was 2009, and it's the only slam that he's only won once. Now, moving on to Andy Murray. Andy Murray, he's out. He's had a hip surgery, so he is nowhere near the field. Stan Wawrinka, at the time of this recording, he has not withdrawn from the Open, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if he decided to pull out of the tournament. Now, he had knee surgery 6 months ago, so he's not up to speed. He's not at 100% level, and I wouldn't expect him to go far in this tournament. Now for who is in. These are the guys that I would put my picks on if I were a betting woman. Number one is Sasha Zverev. The 20-year-old has risen 20 spots up through the rankings in 2017, having a tremendous year. He won 5 big tournaments, and this is his time to shine. He has yet to win against any of the big four in a Grand Slam tournament, but this is his chance. This is the opportunity. So that's number one. Number two, Grigor Dimitrov. He finished the year at number 3. He won the ATP Tour Finals and had an incredible calendar year. Now let's look all the way back to 2017 at this time last year. Now, he didn't just finish the year strong, he started it strong, winning the first tournament of the year in Brisbane. So I expect big, big things for him to come on strong in this Australian Open. Now, my last guy is not going to be a surprise to you. It's my man, Roger Federer. He has won this tournament 5 times before. He won it last year unexpectedly, and he'll be looking to defend his crown again. And now for our So You're Telling Me There's a Chance section. I got 4 guys that you are going to want to keep your eye on throughout the draw. Number one is Juan Martín del Potro. He finished the year off at number 12, so he's just outside of the top 10. He hasn't been there in a few years because he's been coming back slowly from wrist injury. And man, would it be great if he made a big statement early on in 2018. The next guy on the list is Kyrgios. Now, he's the giant killer, and he comes to play in the Grand Slams. All of the smaller tournaments throughout the year, he's admitted that he kind of gets bored at. But when he gets to be on a big stage and perform, when it really, really counts against the big four, he's the only guy who can take out any guy on tour on any day. On top of that, at the end of last year, he came out in an article saying that he's finally found his purpose. I personally think after being off the Kyrgios bandwagon for a long time, after watching him tank last year, I'm back on it hesitantly because I want to see him do well. And I think that he's showing an inkling of maturity. So keep an eye on him. Next up is my fellow Nebraskan, Jack Sock. He made an incredible run last year, late into the year, qualifying for the ATP finals and playing his best tennis under pressure. I think that he's finally primed to make a deep run into a Grand Slam tournament. So I'm gonna be watching that Nebraska boy with my Go Big Red Cornhusker red on. And finally, we've got former world #1 Novak Djokovic. Djokovic is not used to riding the cusp like this, but it makes sense because of his serious elbow injury that he had later last year. Now, he's returning to this tournament, which he kind of owns. He has won 6 of the last 10 Australian Opens, so we can't discount him, but at the same time, just a couple weeks ago, he withdrew from a tournament in Doha because of that elbow injury. So I'm not so sure if he's gonna make a run for it or crash and burn early. Now on to the ladies' prospects. It's an open field with a lot of question marks. First, I want to talk about who's out. Number 1, Serena. She's the whole catalyst for the shakeup. Serena had a baby late last year, and now she is going to be returning to us as soon as she can. She's already practicing in San Francisco. She's been spotted out a few times at the local clubs, but she won't be returning until she is damn good and ready, and I don't blame her. She has some records to hunt down in this year. Another top woman who won't even be playing is Victoria Azarenka. Unfortunately, she will be tied up in custody battles, which is an utter shame. She's missed on tour and her dominance is needed. Finally, I've got someone who I don't want to say, but I'm gonna say it. It's world #1 Simona Halep. I don't think she has a chance of winning this tournament. I'm sorry, Simona, I wish you did. I think that her chances are gonna be better at Roland Garros, but the thing is that she's never won a Grand Slam, and not only that, but she bowed out of the first round in the US Open. Granted, it was to Maria Sharapova, but she hasn't made it out of the second round in the Australian Open since 2015. So, Simona, please come to play, start winning slams. I'm on your team, but I don't think this is the one. Next up is who is in, who I think could make it all the way. Number 1 is Caroline Wozniacki. I normally wouldn't put her on this list because she hasn't made a run in a Grand Slam in a while. She is a former world #1 who's never won a slam. But she had such a strong finish to 2017 that I would be remiss to not include her. She's killing it, so we're gonna be watching out for you, Caroline. Next up is GARBINE MUGURUZA. Now she has won 2 Grand Slams before, proving that she's not a one-trick pony. She has played here before, she can do it again. She hasn't won this Grand Slam, but hard courts suit her and she can rise to this occasion. I really, really hope that she continues her success from 2017 into making a big statement here early in the year, because it would be so great for women's tennis. I'm just gonna say that. But as a platform for her, she already has done so well in her career, last year being the best year of her career so far, and this year, she only has room to grow. A quick one I want you to be on the lookout for is Elina Svitolina. Now, she won Brisbane in the last tournament, and she's on a hot streak, so she could be coming alive. She'll be seeded 4th in this tournament, so watch out for her. Next up is Venus Williams. Everybody discounted Venus for a long time, but she has just come alive. The one thing I have to say about Venus's game is that if I have to hear one more time a single commentator say anything about her age or ask her about her age, I'm going to start a drinking game, and then I will proceed to be drunk throughout the entire Australian Open. So if I tweet or anything, don't hold it against me, because it just means that everyone is asking Venus how old she is. It's 37, just remember it. Either way, doesn't matter how old she is, she could make a run for it. Last year, she made it all the way to the finals, and her biggest competitor was sister Serena, who will not be here this year. So Venus, please put them all to shame, make my day, and win this tournament. Seriously, I'd love it. Next up is Karolina Pliskova. She is also someone who's never won a tournament from the upcoming generation, but she has such a great chance to. She's got the game. She is the biggest server on the women's tour, and this is her surface. Hard courts are going to be extremely effective for her, and it's time for her to level up. She's never made a good run at a Grand Slam tournament, but this is the time. And finally, for the women's side, the So You're Saying There's a Chance section. I want to start off with the American finalists, Sloane Stephens and Madison Keys. They made a run all the way to the finals. Sloane won, Madison got second at the US Open this past year, and they could give us some more tennis greatness, which we would love. Now, both of them have been streaky, so I can't predict it all the way, but watch out for them. The other one is not going to be seeded this tournament, but it doesn't mean you should count her out, Maria Sharapova. Now, everybody is always watching Maria Sharapova, so I don't need to tell you to watch, but her ranking is around 47 right now, and that means nothing going to this tournament. She has the potential for knocking off world number ones like she did at the US Open last year, and she could go deep. She could win this tournament. You never know. So no matter what you think about Maria Sharapova, she works hard and she's gonna bring it every time she steps on the court. That's a guarantee. Next up is a hometown hero, potentially, in Ash Barty. She rose over 300 ranking spots in the last year, and now she finished the year at number 17. She could make a run as the best up-and-coming Australian since Sam Stosur. Finally is the German Julia Görges. You might not know the name, but you're gonna need to. Now, she has never had tremendous results in Grand Slam tournaments. However, she's coming into this tournament having won 3 consecutive tournaments, and I'm looking for her to take that momentum straight into Melbourne. Now, I know you guys are gonna disagree with me, you might agree with me, so let me know in the comments down below what you think is gonna happen at the Australian Open this year and who your top picks are. While you're at it, give this video a like and make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss a single tennis lesson or any tennis news. I will see you next time. Enjoy the Australian Open.